on the occasion of Engineers Day, we have the privilege of speaking with someone whose remarkable career has spanned nearly 40 years in the field of construction and engineering. An alumnus of REC Calicut, he has served as a chief engineer at prestigious institutions such as Mehta, PIMS, and Lakeshore Hospital, and has been responsible for building roads, hospitals, and countless homes and more. As one of our earliest supporters, he trusted Kelachandra Pipes for his projects decades ago and continues to do so today, not because of family ties, but due to the quality and durability of our products. We are honored to speak with my father in law and veteran engineer, Mr. Paulos Matthew Mutathotil, who will share his journey, his experiences, and his thoughts on the evolution of engineering. Could you share a bit about your journey as an engineer? What inspired you to pursue a career in this field about 40 years ago?
I passed out of Regional Engineering College in 1979. As a child itself, I was very much interested in all these engineering aspects, cars and equipments that work at home. And so it was a natural choice for me to go in for engineering. After I passed out of engineering in 79, I worked in various firms for some time, starting my career with Godrej and Boys Manufacturing Company, Private Limited at Bombay. And later on, I went into some little business of my own. But finally, I settled down into the construction field. Actually, it is not the construction field, because it is a projects field. It was actually projects, because I'm a mechanical engineer basically, and people have often asked me, what's a mechanical engineering graduate doing in a civil construction work? So one thing to be understood is that civil construction, actually, the civil part is very low, maybe only about 35 to 40%. The rest of it is actually mechanical and electrical. Air conditioning, wiring, plumbing, all these are mechanical and electrical. Civil part consists just of the building, the blocks and the cement and the concreting. It is only a very small portion. So I went into this field because I found it was very interesting, and each building is a challenge in itself. There are no two buildings which are alike. Any two buildings you take, there are a lot of challenges associated with it, and the trick is in getting them correct. And it is very simple to get them correct, because all you have to do is that insist on good quality. Whatever you do, where it is a selection of bricks, select good bricks or concrete, cement, whatever it is, the best has to be selected. Not always going in for the lowest price, but always going in for the highest quality. About 30 years back, I started into this projects field, and I have worked now in several hospitals. It was mainly hospitals, because it is especially so because hospitals have a high commitment to quality. Unlike an ordinary building, if something major goes wrong with it, you can shut it down for a few days, but not a hospital, because there are patients there, there are live patients there whose life depends on the hospital and the care it is given. So the systems that you put into place there have to be of the best quality. There's no compromise on that. Whether it is the building, the walls, the plumbing, the wiring, and the equipment used, whether it's the MRI machines, the Linacs, X-ray machines, whatever it is, you cannot compromise there, because you have to get a correct picture, and the quality is not compromisable. To comment, I found it very challenging that because every work is different, as I said. For example, in Lakeshore Hospital, we had to start the building from 10 meters below the ground level, which was a very difficult task, because just next to the hospital is the Vembanad Kayal, one of the canals of the Vembanad Kayal, and water table is just about 60 centimeters or so below the surface of it. So we had to keep this place dry, and it took us about 8 months to come to the ground level. And I was happy to note that because of the strict compliance which I was putting on both quality and safety, we were able to reach the ground level without any major or even minor drawbacks or setbacks, no collapses, nothing. By God's grace and by the insistence of the quality which I went, we were able to do that. It is this same quality which I have carried out throughout, and it was the same thing which made other hospitals also to call me. Actually, I'm not really applied to any hospitals, except for the first hospital where I worked in Pondicherry. But after that, it was the hospitals calling me rather than me applying and going to the hospitals.
That's
Besides that, I've built several multi-storied buildings for Meitha, for Mangalam. Very few people may know of that, but Mangalam Towers, all these were built by me and with strict adherence to quality.
over your long career, how have you seen the construction industry evolve in terms of materials, practices, and standards? How does the quality of materials like pipes play a role in long term sustainability?
When we build something, whether it is a 10-storied or 20-storied building or whether it just is a house, that building is intended to last for a lifetime. Even though you say the lifetime of a building is about 50 years, I would say it should last about 100 or 150 years. And if good quality materials are used, it will easily last for about 100 to 150 years. There is no question of that. If you look at the days from when the Britishers were here, definitely the quality of materials have come down. You will find 200-year-old British buildings still standing without any problems. But our newer buildings do not stand up to that. The quality of materials are very important. Everything, every single, even a nail or a steel bar which goes into the concrete, the pipes, the conduit pipes, the quality of the cables, everything is equally important. And more so when it is something which is concealed inside the walls. Because to rectify a defect which has come to some material like pipes and conduits, which are concealed inside the wall, it is very difficult. It is very difficult, and for the person staying there or using there, whether it's an office or a residence, it is very cumbersome because you have to break the wall at that point. There's a lot of dust involved, there's a lot of dirt involved, there's a lot of sound involved. So if you can use materials like good pipes, Kalachandra pipes, for example, you can avoid recurrent problems in the concealed fittings. What may have to be done once in 5 years for a low quality pipe, for a good pipe which is made of good long lasting material, you may not have to do it for 30 or 40 years. So that is why everything is important. All the smallest material to the biggest material, it's very important that we use the best material.
We at Kelachandra are honored to have your continued trust in our products for nearly 4 decades. How does it feel to see a company like Kelachandra uphold its commitment to quality over such a long period? And how important is that consistency in the construction world?
The consistency of quality is the most important thing. It is always, if I buy something good today and tomorrow it turns out to be bad, then I will, or anybody will stop trusting you. So consistency, you have to consistently give good products through your lifetime. So that way people can blindly say, I can now blindly say, you buy Kelachandra. But if at times I had got bad stuff, I would not have been able to say that. Like for some materials, I tell them, check them out. Check, make sure it's good. This, in case of Kelachandra, I don't have to say that. I can tell them, go ahead, Kelachandra is fine.
Having worked on so many diverse projects, roads, hospitals, residential buildings, high rise buildings, what would you say was the most challenging and rewarding project in your career?
As I mentioned earlier, one of the most challenging work that I've done is the Lakeshore Hospital, the double basement below the Lakeshore Hospital. We had to go two basements, two floors below the ground level because of the linear accelerator, because of the radiation which comes out of the linear accelerator. It has to be absorbed by the ground. So it is easiest to go underneath. But then we had this challenge that water was sort of flowing into the uh, pit. The pit was huge. The footprint of the pit was something like about 20,000 square feet. And the whole place had to be secured, kept dry, and built up with concrete using proper uh, waterproofing materials and ensuring the safety of the hundreds of people who are working at 10 meters below ground level. So this was a challenge, but I was able to achieve it due to my strict adherence and strict insistence with the contractors on the quality of the materials and work done, the quality and the workmanship, actually quality of the materials and the workmanship, and also the safety factors. These three things uh, ensured that we had an uneventful build up for the basement reaching the ground level. It took us nearly about 7 or 8 months for that. Another challenge was, of course, that was in the terms of speed, because when I was in Pondicherry Institute of Medical Sciences, there we had a time schedule. Every portion, every year for 5 years, we had to build a certain amount of area in time for the examination by the Medical Council of India. They'll come to check out the infrastructure, whether you are ready to receive the new batch of students. So we had a very short period in which to build up that area, and at the same time, there is no question of compromising on quality. So very often we work day and night, and I'm happy to say that I was all the 5 years I was able to keep up the time schedules without any uneventful happening and without any time lag, and not even once was the Medical Council of India unsatisfied with the work or the progress of the work that was done.
With your extensive experience, what advice would you give to young engineers starting out today? What should they focus on when it comes to quality, sustainability, and building a lasting legacy?
I would stress on quality, quality, and quality. That is the root of long lasting buildings, long lasting houses, and least maintenance. Use a good quality brick, you will not have any portion of the building crumbling down. Use good quality wiring, you will not have any electrical fires or short circuits or even voltage problems. Use good quality pipes will ensure that water comes at a proper pressure day in and day out, that it will last you long. Concealed portions will not have to be broken down to replace certain sections. So quality of the material used and the quality of the workmanship is important. These are the two most important things. We use the best material pipes. We use Kelachandra pipes and then the plumber does not join it properly. That is also a problem. So whatever you're using, whether it's masons or unskilled workers, materials like pipes, bricks, cement, sand, whatever, you should go in for the best that is available. Do not compromise under any reasons. Do not compromise for a lesser quality.
You were one of the early builders to purchase pipes directly from Kelachandra for your projects. What initially drew you to the brand, and how did your first experience with our pipes impact your opinion?
At that time, actually, it was my house in Kottayam for which I used Kelachandra pipes for the first time. Uh, I was facing problem, even though not in projects of my own. I have come across several areas where pipes were bursting, new pipes within about less than a year of being laid were bursting, and it is an extremely difficult task to replace them, because a pipe which is concealed inside the wall, to replace it, you have to break the wall or a portion of the wall, replace it, and then build back the wall, and they'll always leave a mark along the wall where you have cut through. So at that time, I was looking for a good brand, and I came across Kelachandra pipes. And actually, to hold the pipe in your hand itself, you know that it is of stronger material. It is not just any flimsy material; it is stronger material. I consulted several actually structural engineers and several plumbers who have worked for me down the years. So several plumbers, I consulted them, and they all said, "Sir, Kelachandra is the best. And if you can go in for it, go for it. It's slightly more expensive, and maybe you will not get credit to purchase it, but the quality is definitely the best." And the pipes which I have used in my house have proved itself. Well, nearly 30 or 35 years back, 35 years after the construction, when some leaks occurred here and there, we checked it out and we found that none of the pipes had broken, but it was always the elbows or the bends, which were not of Kelachandra, which were of GI. In those days, I think Kelachandra was not making elbows. So it was these elbows which were breaking. So I was actually quite happy when later on, when I built this house in Cochin, Kelachandra people told me, when I approached them again, they told me that now we are making bends and pipes also. So here we have used completely Kelachandra pipes and bends and elbows.
Would you recommend CPVC pipes over PVC pipes for concealed applications?
You see, CPVC is required at certain areas. CPVC is definitely more expensive than PVC pipes. So it is something like it's not required. I mean, there's no harm in using it, but you are spending more money than is required. Wherever hot water lines are coming, you can use CPVC. Otherwise, PVC pipes are good enough.
Last year, you chose Kelachandra pipes again for your new house, even though I'm your daughter in law. What convinced you to continue trusting Kelachandra's products after all these years?
The stress was on the quality of the materials used. You being my daughter-in-law had nothing to do with it. Even if you are not my daughter-in-law, I would have selected whichever is best. In this case, it happens to be the Kelachandra pipes. Also, I must say that in spite of you being my daughter-in-law, if the Kelachandra pipes were not up to the mark, I would not have used it. It goes both ways. So basically, I've used it because I was happy with the quality.
As we conclude this interview, it's clear that the success of any engineering project is not just in its design, but in the quality and reliability of the materials used, something that Mr. Paulos Matthew Motototl has exemplified throughout his career. His trust in Kelachandra's pipes after decades of real world testing stands as a testament of the enduring quality that we strive to deliver. On behalf of Kelachandra and the engineering community, we extend our deepest respect to Mr. Paulos Matthew Motototl and all the engineers who build the foundations of our world. Thank you for sharing your insights and for your lifelong commitment to excellence in engineering. We are proud to honor you on this Engineers Day.
Thank you, Nikita. Actually, the honor is mine because I am proud to be associated with you in this, and I'm proud that you have called upon me as an example of what a good engineer and what good engineering should be, and how the one should always strive to maintain the quality. Thank you, Nikita, for calling me.
I couldn't have asked for anyone better. Very thrilled to have you on an interview today with you, Appa. Very happy that you've agreed to come and take the interview. Thank you so much.